Now let's talk about creating custom objects and tabs. We'll be creating 5 custom objects and 5 custom tabs. We'll be creating a school, classroom, class, student, and books. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and log into your developer org. If you need to, you can pause and restart. But we're going to be creating objects. So at the top left, we need to select the Object Manager tab. From here, you're going to go to the right side button at the top right, Create Custom Object. And our first object will be a school. So for our label, we'll select school. For our plural, we'll select schools. Our description is not required. Now help, we have 2 options for help. The first one is your standard out of the box Salesforce help. It's generic, it doesn't have any custom material in there. The second option is if you create a Visualforce page with custom help, you'll be able to select it from the menu. Since we haven't got a Visualforce page, we're going to go with the standard help. Now the name can either be a text or an auto number. We'll talk about auto number a little bit later, but for now we want to leave this on text. So we can, for the school name, type in Maple Street Elementary or Pleasantville Elementary School. Below, we're going to allow reports. We're going to allow activities. These are your events, your task, things like that. We're going to allow track field history. So what this will do is it'll tell you the previous value of a field, who changed it and when they changed it. We'll also allow for chatter. And this is a new feature, enable licensing. And you'll select this if this object needs a special license from Salesforce. We'll also allow the sharing and the API access. Now, deployment status. We've got in development and deployed. Deployed means it's available, you're live, it's out there for everyone. Now we're not there yet because we haven't created our fields for our object yet. So we want to put it in deployment. This means only certain people with admin rights will be able to go and test out the object. Below here, allow search. We want to make this searchable. So in your global search box, we want you to be able to search, for instance, Roosevelt Elementary School and get a result. The last 2 will also allow for notes and attachments. And the last check mark lets us go ahead and select the tab and create the tab now without having to wait. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to click Save. It's going to take us to our tabs settings. My object is already selected school. My tab style to the right is a magnifying glass. I can choose from Salesforce standard tab styles, or you can create your own style with your own color and your own little logo. But for us, we're just going to go with the building for our school. Below here is an optional splash page. Now we don't have any splash pages created, so we can't create those. But this is like a custom first-time users page. If you've ever created roles in Salesforce, you'll first start with a splash page. And it's got a picture of the tree for your roles. And there's a place to put a check mark. It says, don't show me this again. That's a splash page. And now we're going to select next at the bottom right. Now we have to decide which profiles we want to add this tab to. We can make the same selection for all the tabs, or we can make a different selection for each tab. When we click on the second option, each tab has its own menu. We're just going to leave it the same for everyone. And our 3 options are default on, default off, and tab hidden. Default off means that the tab can still be turned on. Hidden means the tab cannot be accessed at all. We're going to go to the bottom right, select next. Now we have to select the custom apps that we want this tab to be on. By default, they're all turned on. However, we can turn them off by simply deselecting that app. At the bottom left, there's a place for a check mark. It says append the tab to users' existing personal customizations. So if your users have customized their tabs, this will add it to that customization. Now at the bottom right, we're going to click Save. So we've got our first object created. Now let's go and create our second object, Classrooms. So we're going to click on the Object Manager tab at the top left. We're going to go to the right. We're going to select Create Custom Object. Our label will be Classroom. Our plural will be Classrooms. Description is not required. We're going to use the standard help. We're also going to leave this as a text field because we want our names to be Room 101 or Lab 7. We'll also allow reports, activity, field tracking, and chatter groups. We'll put this in development because we don't want to go live yet. We want to make it searchable. We're also going to allow notes and attachments, and we're going to go ahead and create our tab at this point. Click Save at the bottom. Now it's time for our tab. Our object is already selected, Classroom. Our tab style, we're going to click on the magnifying glass. We're going to select the desk as our style. Going to go to the bottom right, select Next. We're going to leave it on for all of our profiles. Select Next, and we'll leave it on for all of our apps and save. All right. Our next object is our class. So back to Object Manager. Create on the right side. Custom object. This is going to be class and classes. We still want to leave this as a text field because we want to be able to type in history, math, science. We'll allow for reports, activities, field tracking, and chatter. We're not live yet, so we'll put it in development. We'll make it searchable. We'll allow notes, and we'll go ahead and create our tab. At the bottom, we're going to select Save. For our tab style, we're going to click on the magnifying glass. And for our class, we will select the chalkboard. Bottom right, we'll select Next. We'll leave it on for all of our profiles. So we'll click Next again, and we'll leave it on for all of our apps, and we'll save. So we've got 2 more to go. Our next one is Students. So I'm going to go to Object Manager. Create on the right side, Custom Object. Our label is going to be Student and Students. We also want to leave this as a text field for the record name. I'm going to allow reports, activities, field tracking, and chatter. We're going to put it in development. We're going to allow searches, going to add notes, and we're going to go ahead and create our custom tab. So at the bottom, we're going to click Save. Our tab style, we're going to click on the right magnifying glass, and we're going to select People. Next, at the bottom right, we're going to leave it on for all of our profiles. Select Next, and we're going to leave it on for all of our apps, and we're going to save. Now we're going to do our last object, which is Books. We're going to go to Object Manager. Top right, Create Custom Object, and this one is Book and Books. This time, we want to change our record name. We want to change the data type to auto number. And the reason for this is I might have 50 history books and they all have the same name. So I need another way to identify the book. So here, the first thing I have to do is the format, and you'll see an example to the right. So my format would be, I'll put B for book, I'll put a dash, I have to put my bracket, and I'll put a 0 and another bracket, and I'll put my starting number as 1. If you prefer 100, 101, you can do that. We're going to allow for reports, activities, field history tracking, and chatter. We're also going to move this to development. We'll make it searchable. We'll add our notes, but this time we're not going to select the tab. We're not going to put in that last check mark because I'm going to show you how to add the tab in case you forget or you need to go and update it later and you want to change it. So don't click the last check mark for the tab. You're going to click Save. And now we're going to go add our tab for our books. So top left, we're going to go to the Home tab. On the left side under Quick Find, we're going to type in tabs and select tabs. We've got our 4 tabs here already. We need to create a new one under Custom Objects here. So we're going to select the new button at the top. We have to select our object from the drop-down menu, which is Book. Our tab style, we'll click on the magnifying glass and we'll select Books. Next, at the bottom right, we'll leave it on for all of our profiles and we'll click Next. All of our custom apps, we'll leave it on as well and save. We've now created our 5 objects. Now let's talk about the relationship between the objects.